What's up, everybody, and welcome to Car Confections. Now, I'm standing out here in the middle of the night to give you guys a night review of the all-new 2024 Buick Envista. This, of course, is a very important car for the Buick brand and also one that carries a very affordable price tag. So let's go ahead and see what this thing looks like at night. Now, the first place where we start every night review is what happens when you walk up to the vehicle. Now, of course, this Envista starts in the low $20,000 price tag, and this model as tested today is under 30 grand, so do keep in mind you're not going to have any fancy approach lighting or anything along those lines. But when we unlock the vehicle, you will notice that we actually have some really nice premium daytime running lights that turn on, as well as some side marker lights, and the rear lights also turn on as well. So not bad when it comes to the lighting department. We also have a smart entry system, so we can just grab behind the handle to unlock. And then once we open up the door, you will notice that the interior is decently illuminated. I'll talk a little bit more about the interior illumination in just a second, but for now I want to go ahead and hop inside and start it up so we can take a look at the exterior of this Envista. Now, before we begin here with the exterior, I do want to point out that we have a full review on the channel already that covers all the details and information that you might be wanting to know about this Buick Envista. Of course, it's also in the daytime, so if you want to see what this color looks like in the daytime, you can find it in that video right here. Now, as far as other things worth mentioning, of course, that color that I was talking about in just a little bit ago is called copper ice, and here at nighttime it really shows up quite well. So if you like a bold color at night, I might would choose this. And then as far as some of the other design elements, of course we have a very sporty look for this Envista model. It's kind of an coupe SUV design, so certainly I like the way it looks. And then as far as your lighting is concerned, let's talk about this. This is very important here at nighttime. So up top, you have an LED daytime running light. This also doubles as your turn signal indicator, as you can see on the left headlight right now. And then as we drop down to the lower area, this is your headlight cluster itself. This is just going to be a projector style LED headlights, and it's for both your low and high beam. And I believe that is standard equipment on every single Envista model. So that's very nice that Buick is giving you those standard premium LED lighting fixtures. And as you can see, here's your turn signal right here. Now, as far as other lighting elements, we do have a side marker light, like I mentioned earlier. We have big, nice alloy wheels that are finished in a black finish for the Sport Touring trim level. And then coming up to our mirrors, I'm very pleasantly surprised to see that we have a side marker turn signal indicator light. And we do also have blind spot monitoring. Do keep in mind, though, you're not going to have auto dimming or any of those advanced features. Now, as far as other things I want to mention, here at the side, of course, you can see that coupe-like silhouette. If you want something more SUV-like, you can get the Encore GX. And then as we head around to the rear design of the Envista, really cool look here. Very SUV coupe design, really like it. It's actually sloped off the rear window to the degree that you don't even need a rear wiper at all, which is quite interesting. Now, as far as some of the lighting is concerned, let's talk about this. So we have an LED accented light through here. So this is going to be a nice premium LED light. I do want to point out, though, your turn signal indicator and brake light is going to be integrated down here in this piece, and this is an incandescent light. And you do also have an incandescent reverse light as well. So most of your lighting in the rear is actually going to be incandescent, although the accenting is surprisingly LED, including your license plate lighting. So it's a little bit interesting that Buick has decided to make the accenting LED rather than the actual brake light componentry, but you're going to have a mixed bag when it comes to the lighting in the back. And then once we pop open the cargo area, you will notice that we have some lighting here on the side. This is once again going to be incandescent lighting. However, it does light up the entire cargo area pretty well. Do keep in mind, though, it's only going to be on one side, so if you have something blocking this side, you're not going to be able to see too well here in the back. But let's go ahead and shut up the cargo area and check out the interior lighting for this all-new Envista. If you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars. And getting inside the Envista, we're going to get finally out of the cold here. As you can see, when you open up the door, you're going to have decent interior lighting. I am a little bit disappointed by this, maybe not for the price, but I would have really liked for Buick to include maybe some LED lights inside the cabin. Unfortunately, you're going to have just this dome light, which is incandescent, so it doesn't light up things as well as it should inside of here, and you do also have one in the rear as well that will go ahead and turn on. But overall, the lighting isn't terrible. You can kind of see where you're, getting inside of, so it's not too bad, but I would maybe like a little bit of better lighting inside of here so we could actually see how nice the seats are, because they're pretty darn nice. But let's go ahead and start it up. And let's go ahead and transition into a first-person perspective so we can go ahead and check out all of those interior details. Now, first thing I want to go ahead and talk about are the headlights. As you can see, this is what it looks like, just the traditional low beam. And as we flip those on, that's the high beam right there. Certainly very good headlights. Definitely a very impressive headlight to be standard equipment on something of this price tag. Definitely the projector abilities are very, very nice for this price. Now, as far as other things I want to talk about, let's go ahead and talk about the steering wheel. We do have a nice flat bottom leather-wrapped steering wheel. This is the newest Buick design, and also worth noting, it's nice and heated, so that's certainly very nice on a cold day like today. And as far as your buttons, they're actually going to be illuminated in a nice white color. It's very nice and premium looking. Now, over here, as far as some of your other buttons are concerned, we have our headlight controls, all of which are going to be illuminated in a nice white finish. So you're definitely going to be able to find all of the buttons. And then as far as your window switches are concerned, you do have an auto down window, but it is not fully automatic up. Now, as far as other things, let's go ahead and move to the center console. In the center console, you will notice that we have zero illumination, so you're definitely not going to be able to see where you fit your donuts or your coupons or whatever in the Envista, but do keep in mind that price point. And then as we head throughout the rest of the cabin, we have illuminated buttons for our gear shifter, as well as the electronic parking brake. You just pull back for drive. Then as we go into reverse, here's what your backup camera looks like. Throughout the week, we've been very impressed with this backup camera. It's very high resolution, nicely done. We do also have active trajectory. At nighttime, it does get a little bit more grainy, but overall, I've been very happy with that backup camera. As you can see, we do have good-sized cup holders, and then up in front of that, we do have a wireless phone charging pad, and then we also have lighted USB ports in the very back. Now, moving on from that, as far as our climate controls, all this is rendered physically through here. When you make adjustments, you can see that on the panel right here, and then you do also have heated seat controls, all of which are going to be nicely done in that white color. So I like that Buick's being pretty cohesive when it comes to the color scheme going on in here. Additionally, I do want to point out, though, that you do not have any ambient lighting. I'm sure you didn't expect that at this price point, but you're not going to have any ambient lighting inside of this cabin. Now, moving up to our display, this is going to be a really nice display and standard equipment. So just like the digital gauge cluster over here on the left-hand side, you do have a really nice display through here. It's very responsive. It runs wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which is certainly a nice feature to have. You do also have different abilities, such as the climate menu here. So if you want to make adjustments in the screen, you can do that as well. Now, as we head up to this mirror, you will notice that it is a manually dimming mirror, so at least on the sport touring trim level, we do not have an auto dimming mirror, but we do have buttons for our moonroof. So we actually have an optional power moonroof on this sport touring model, which is definitely a very nice feature to see. Let some of that nighttime light in, but let's go ahead and head around to the back seats and check those out. And opening up the rear door, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, you do have a center dome light, so it illuminates the rear up pretty well, but it's not quite as bright as I would like it, that's for sure. Now, getting back here, as far as lighting elements are concerned, we're not going to have a lot of it as you would expect, but we do have 2 lighted USB ports. Once again, I really like that Buick isn't cheaping out on stuff even like the USB port illumination. That's certainly Very nice. Now we do also, we actually are missing a center armrest, so do keep that in mind. But overall, it's definitely not a bad lighted cabin in this Envista. And there's your full interior view, especially when you factor in that $29,000 price tag. And guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this night review of the all-new 2024 Buick Envista. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decision, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you help get us access to vehicles like this where we can have back home in Lexington for a full 7 days so we can provide those nighttime reviews as well as more additional content, including real-world fuel economy as well as other types of content. So thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're not a part of our family already, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below and became a part. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.